This doesn't happen very often, so let's savor the moment. That is the new Toyota Tacoma.
2024 brings a truly unwieldy number of improvements to the Tacoma. Perhaps because the current model went so darn long without a major overhaul, but hey, we're not here to talk about the past.
So much has changed that instead of weaving an artful narrative, I'm going to lazily fling information at you. And it goes a little something like this.
The fourth generation Tacoma is now built on Toyota's TNGA-F global truck platform, just like its Tundra and Sequoia kin. It's got a boxed steel frame. Rear leaf springs are still found in lower trims, but higher trims offer a coil-spring multilink setup. The steering system is now electrically powered, and disc brakes are now standard throughout the lineup.
Stylistically, Generation 4 looks like a Tacoma. I really like the blocky geometric design. I think it adds a lot of visual interest, but what do you think? Holy crap, look at that air dam. Huh. Now, what am I talking about? You're already typing and telling us what you think in the comments section. Also, if you're expecting me to leave frame so you can see the car better, no, I'm not gonna leave frame this time. Okay, I have to. It's a Kelley Blue Book thing.
As for body styles, there's the familiar 4-door double cab with either a 5 or 6 foot bed. There's also a new 2-door XtraCab that comes exclusively with 2 seats and a 6-foot bed. Speaking of the bed, volume has increased by 7%, and there's a power opening and closing function for the tailgate. For drivetrains, a 4x2 is standard. 4-wheel drive with the 2-speed transfer case is optional.
One challenge I always had with the current Tacoma was the seating position. Let me slide in the driver's seat and see if this is an improvement. This is an improvement. I feel like I'm a little less legs forward, more comfortable position. Let me move the steering wheel back to the ideal mica position. Yeah, this feels good. I could totally sit here. The real question though, can I sit behind myself comfortably? Okay, looks like we got just enough knee clearance. My feet barely fit underneath the seat there. Headroom is a little bit tight, and I do feel like my seat back angle is a little bit vertical for what would be ultimately comfortable for me, but I could sit back here for a little bit if I needed to. Oh, and let me move to the middle. Nope. Head touching. We got a hump down here. That's it's not great, but it is a mid-size pickup truck, so I'm adjusting my expectations accordingly. One more rear seat element. We've got some functionality back here, so if we flip this headrest down, and I haven't tried this beforehand, oh, there we go. We can flip the seats down, so you've got a bit of a cargo area to load stuff up on, and we can also flip this up. Now, in the non-hybrid versions, this would be a bunch of cargo space. Instead, we've got a battery and another bigger battery. We'll just ignore that. Know that there's cargo space here if you're not getting a hybrid.
Moving to engines, there are 2. Engine 1, a 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder whose output varies. And yeah, that's right, you can get a 6-speed manual transmission, only with the double cab though.
This is the TRD Sport, and it has the manual transmission. It's dinging at me saying, hey Micah, won't you drive me? One interesting thing about the manual here is that it has a mode where you've got a little clutch start / button, meaning you can drive this thing without using the clutch off-road. I am dying to see what that's like. But Toyota people will scream at me if I do that right now.
And engine 2, the iForce Max, is also a 2.4-liter turbocharged engine, but it's been hybridized, creating a notable increase in power. Interestingly, max tow comes from the weaker iForce engine, topping out at 6,500 pounds, while the iForce Max can tow up to 6,000 pounds. Also interesting, the iForce Max comes standard with a 2,400-watt AC inverter. That seems handy. If you plan to tow, there's an integrated brake controller, 360-degree camera system, and various other features available to keep your trailer attached and pointed in the right direction. Among the trims, there's the base SR, a fancy Limited, and a newly returned TRD Pre-Runner. Sorry, we don't have pictures of all the trims. But here's the TRD Sport that you can get with that manual transmission. Aw, that thing looks good. And here's the TRD Pro, whose 2.5-inch Fox shocks, hard to say, 33-inch Goodyear tires, front stabilizer bar disconnect, standard iForce Max engine, and electronic locking rear differential will help you get maximally gnarly when off-roading.
Can we take a brief moment to appreciate the TRD Pro's isodynamic performance seats? It uses dampers to minimize how much you get jostled around both vertically and laterally. I want to go on the event where Toyota shows this off because that's going to be some gnarly driving.
Lastly, if you have a yearning to overland, the brand new Tacoma Trail Hunter is like a TRD Pro, but pre-modified for your convenience. Why add an integrated air compressor, a bed utility bar, a high-mounted air intake, rock rails, a 20-inch LED light bar, or position-sensitive 2.5-inch forged monotube shocks when the Trail Hunter has them already installed?
And yes, Toyota will happily sell you an ARB bed rack so you've got somewhere to mount that rooftop tent you've been dreaming about. Overlanding.
Other elements to note, Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 is standard on all trims and includes full-speed dynamic cruise control, lane keeping assist, and automatic emergency braking with pedestrian, bicyclist, and motorcyclist detection. The Tacoma can even bring itself to a safe stop if the driver is incapacitated. Smart key access is also standard. Hooray, I don't have to complain about that. As for infotainment, the base screen is 8 inches and features wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's also an optional 14-inch screen.
Higher trims include a removable JBL speaker that goes from being the center speaker to something you can have and listen to music. This will help drown out that guy at the campsite that just picked up guitar and wants you to know about it. Jeff Glucker, I'm looking in your direction.
Rounding things out, the Toyota Tacoma will be built in Toyota's Baja California and Guanajuato plants in Mexico. Not sure if I pronounced that last one right. I took German in high school. In conclusion, we've got a new Ford Ranger, new Chevy Colorado, a GMC Canyon, and now a brand new Tacoma. The mid-size pickup truck category is looking as vibrant as ever.
We won't know pricing or fuel economy information until closer to late in 2023 when the Tacoma goes on sale, but none of those numbers matter. Toyota's going to sell every 4th-gen Tacoma they can build.